What's your best advice for those who feel lonely? I believe that even loneliness, you need a level of moderation of it in your life. I think the reason why we feel lonely is because we're constantly surrounded by so many people all the time, whether it's in our physical life or in our social life. We're literally just surrounded by so many people. And I think being around others will only make you more lonely. People think that they should surround themselves with more and more, more material items, more people with influence, and all these things. But in reality, we need less because we have to realize what we already have. And for that, we need stillness in our life. The first one I want to talk about is less is more. We do not have to be constantly surrounded by people. We have to be surrounded by ourselves and be comfortable in our own skin. I think that's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. You really need to reflect and appreciate what we already have. And sometimes it takes reading a beautiful book to change your perception. Sometimes it's looking back at your own journey and reflecting, wow, that's how far I have gone. Sometimes it's reaching out to someone who will listen to you, someone who will give you that empathy that you were yearning for. And sometimes it's moving around physically, whether you're out in nature or you're just cleaning your room. It helps you realize that you have a heartbeat, it's racing, you are living, and you are healthy. That already is a gift that you have to realize. Ask yourself, why do I feel lonely? Is there certain people in your life that make you feel that way? What is it that you're lacking, and why is it that you don't feel like you're enough? Where is this feeling stemming from? So these are deep, deep questions that you really have to answer for yourself in the most honest way possible, whether it's writing it down or talking to a friend about this. But I really suggest you do it by yourself, because there's so much deeper meanings behind why we do the things we do, and this is one of them. From my experience, loneliness comes when I feel I am not enough, when I am not grateful for the little people that are in my life. It's when I don't appreciate them as much as I should, and even when I don't appreciate myself, I feel lonely. It's when I want more and I crave more that I feel lonely. I don't think it's a bad feeling to feel lonely and to feel like you lack something. I think it's a part of our natural cycle that helps us remind us, whether it's our loved ones or the beautiful gift of nature that we have. These are the things that heal our hearts, and loneliness reminds us of that. It reminds us of the things we take for granted. Another one is, because I'm a creative, I had to include this. Whether it's working on a skill you've been wanting to do, it feels good to be so into your art and so into your passion that you're literally consumed by it. Loneliness cannot get you because it's you and your art. When you feel lonely, paint more, draw more, photograph more, explore more, travel more, all these things. It helps you explore that part of yourself and figure out who you are, and it connects you closer to the world because you are sharing your art with somebody. If you don't have a skill that you can practice on, you can develop one. There's no excuses. You can learn, you can study, you can read books, you can do everything you want to do. These are little things that I just wanted to tell you guys that make me feel less lonely. You don't have to change yourself because you feel lonely. You just need to add more value to who you already are, because you are a valuable person. But this feeling of loneliness and lack is making you feel like you are not. I feel less lonely when I share my story and realize that others are going through the same thing. It's when I break down my own illusions of what I'm perceiving that I feel less lonely. It's when I get to the truth of things that I feel less lonely, because everything in this world is like a false reality. It's up to you to figure out what is your own reality. When you figure that out, it's the best feeling of ascension. I feel less lonely when I admit my vulnerabilities, my faults, my weaknesses, because they're bare and they're there, and I just have to work on it. Working on myself and my inner demons, because you have to keep working on yourself. It's life work. And the more you start healing yourself, the less lonely you feel, the less feeling of lack you feel, because when you heal that part of yourself, you are evolving, and that defeats loneliness. Then, when you are ready to share those pieces of your life with people, people that you trust, people who are open, people that you love, it makes the feeling of loneliness completely disappear until it wants to come back again. So don't think that you can just get rid of this feeling of loneliness by doing A, B, and C. No, it's literally life work. It's gonna come back again. It's a cycle. And from there, you have to repeat this cycle all over again. You have to ask yourself deep down why you feel lonely. Why don't you feel enough? And then when you figure out your own answer, you can use your strength, your wisdom, and your experiences to help someone else who is suffering. Honestly, that feeling of loneliness will disappear once again until it wants to come back. But that's how it is. That's how life is. And we are so blessed, and we cannot take things for granted. That's why that feeling of loneliness exists. So I love you guys so much. This is a long one, but I know during this pandemic, everyone feels that loneliness because the world is not working as the way it should, but that might be better in the long run. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys.